So hi, my name is Saul Kaplan. I am the founder and chief catalyst of the Business Innovation Factory, or as we like to call it, BIF. It's great if you ever get the opportunity to create your own title, which I got to do here since I founded the organization. I call myself the chief catalyst. I remember back to my high school days, high school chemistry, where I learned that a catalyst was a reagent that got the reaction going, but then got out of the way once it was going. And I also remember that it never got used up in the reaction, and I like that part. So we're trying to catalyze a real-world laboratory to mobilize systems-level change in healthcare, education, and in the energy space. All three of these things are systems-level problems. They are well-intentioned systems. Sometimes I call them rugby scrums, where all the players are battling and protecting their interests and trying to improve their competitive position. But change is very, very difficult, as we all know, in these environments. And I believe that what we need to do is learn how to do R&D for new models and systems. Where are we going to explore a better way to deliver value to the patient in healthcare, to the student in education, or to the citizen in the energy space? And here at BIF, we're creating a community of innovators around the country that are networked together, and we're trying to make those networks purposeful in those areas that we focus on by creating real-world labs where you can experiment with new solutions. So specific examples, we have a patient-focused lab called the Nursing Home of the Future. We're trying to rethink and re-envision the elder experience. The system we have in place in this country that cares for our elders is exploding at the seams, and that's before the first baby boomer even hits this 65-year-old scene in the year 2011. There's got to be a better way. There's got to be a better system where elders can age at home where they want to age with dignity and have a physical environment and a set of care elements of a system that are able to deliver better care for less money. And we want to take that theory and put it on a real-world test bed to determine what works, to learn from what works, and to learn from each other. We've got a very similar lab in the education space called the Student Experience Lab, where we just got a grant to understand the college student's experience through the lens of the student. So many of these conversations are institutional leaders that get together to debate amongst themselves how the system needs to change. There's no voice of the student in these innovation conversations, and we try to bring that voice into the conversation and then create an environment where we can think about better ways to deliver value to the student that might cut across the public and private sector, might cut across silos, and force us to collaborate in a new and different way. So really what we're trying to do is to mobilize systems change in areas that are really important to all of us, regardless of whether we sit in the public sector or in the private sector. And we're trying to create an actionable platform where we can take ideas from the whiteboard and move them onto the ground. So when I took the job in the public sector, I got a lot of kind of interesting looks and some pointed questions from friends saying, why did you do that? Doesn't the government move too slow? Saul, you're bounce off the walls kind of guy. I mean, how are you going to sit in the government sector? And I thought about it, and my answer was, I just spent 20 years working in the corporate sector, and big companies don't move so fast. I'm pretty sure of that. And yeah, you're right, the government doesn't move very quickly, but I love to tease my friends that are leaders in academia, because I'm completely convinced that academia moves more slowly than the other two. But the real serious point is all organizations are the same. It doesn't matter, right? These organizations deliver value to their end customer, whoever the end customer is. They constantly work to improve it and to get better. They constantly work to strengthen their position within the system the way it works today. That's predictable, that's healthy, it's a good thing. What we need to get better at is how we can create safe platforms to experiment with some different approaches, some new configurations that cut across those boundaries, right? Where we can find the innovators in academia, in the corporate world, in the public sector and NGO world, and provide neutral platforms where they can experiment with some new ways to solve these big problems that we have. We all know that there are more solutions than we have been able to explore. Experimentation is hard, particularly when you're pedaling the bicycle, as hard as we all are to keep the current model and systems working. But we have got to get better at experimentation at the systems level, because we won't fix healthcare and education and energy issues the way we want to until we learn how to do that better. So platforms like the Business Innovation Factory and connecting to other platforms that have similar capabilities or interests is in all of our best interests in order to nudge this country to more systems level experimentation and real systems level change, so that we can deliver better value to the student, to the patient, to the citizen.